Hello and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. Things are changing on my suburban homestead. Over the last few days, I have been working to improve, one, the functionality of my garden space, as well as provide better materials so that it'll last longer. And y'all, I just like to do stuff outside in the garden when the weather permits. So my brother came into town and he was only here for a good 24 hours. And we got a lot of stuff done in 24 hours, but we didn't get finished. But I don't want to wait another 2 weeks or 3 weeks to share with you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you what we got done, where we are, and so you can kind of go along with me during this process. This space right here is the new orchard area that I am trying to create and get pulled together. Now, I purchased some apple trees. So that is a pink lady, a honey crisp, and then over to the side over there, I have two more peach trees, and I've relocated a peach tree to this spot here. So I had peach trees closer to the road, closer to the street, and I was finding that people were helping themselves to some of my peaches. So I've relocated this tree into the orchard area, and y'all, I hope it survives because it had roots growing so deep into the ground that I didn't have a choice but to cut some of those roots out. So I gave it a ton of fertilizer. I think I made it happy again. And so hopefully this tree will survive the winter and we can get peaches on it. I went ahead and put some paper down because I don't want to have to cut grass in this space here. If I got grass coming up in this space, I'm going to be bumping the lawnmower all up against the trees and everything back there. So I went ahead and put down some weed barrier. Now on this side of the new fruit area, I have all of my strawberry green stalks. I haven't had a chance to put them back together yet. That's just, we ran out of time. And the last day it was here, it rained. And we're out here in the rain at 8 o'clock in the morning trying to put the last few things together that we could. But all of my green stalks are all in many different pieces over here. But I have 3 green stalks over here. At least I think all of them made it. Yeah, looks like they're all here. But I have 3 7-tier strawberry green stalk vertical planters that are just sitting around right now. But the plan is to add these green stalks to this space as well. So when I say I have a fruit area, that's what this is going to be. I'm going to have my strawberries, spread out through this space here. I want to make sure they get plenty of sunlight. There are no trees in front of me here, so shading is not going to be an issue at all in this space in the time to come. And then, so peach trees on the end, and apple trees in the back, and strawberries all around the side. And then I get to this container right here. This is a 17-inch Vego Garden metal raised bed. And I purchased just a few of these. And I do mean just a few, like 8 more. But I already had 4 of these throughout my garden, and I purchased 4 more 17-inch Vego Garden metal raised beds. But y'all, what am I going to put in here? I've been trying to figure it out because this space is prime space when it comes to the amount of sunlight that it's going to get. I mean, there's no blockage from anything in this space here. And so I'm trying to decide what to put in here. And I thought about sweet potatoes, but if I put sweet potatoes in here, they're going to vine all over the place. And that's not a fruit. But this would be an ideal place to grow sweet potatoes in my garden. And then I thought about, well, what about some fruit bushes? So I thought about bringing in my blueberry bushes into this space here, but then I still got more room. So this bed, I haven't decided yet, and we're not even finished putting it together. I still need to pull the plastic from around the sides of the bed. I always leave that on until I'm completely done setting it up so I don't scratch and scrape up the beds themselves. I still need to put the black wire, the rubber wire across the top to protect the bed as well. But I'm looking for suggestions. Help me out, help me figure out what do I want to use this bed for. And outside of blueberry bushes, I thought about growing melons here. I really did. I thought about maybe putting melons on the backside, but we got plenty of time because this will be for next year's garden. Nothing's going to grow in here right now. So I'm getting everything in. I'm going to put this bed to bed for the season by covering it up with leaf mulch. And then we will continue to let all of this material break down and get nice and ready for us next year. So that's it for the new fruit area. So you will see more videos to come in the very near future as I finish off this area as we wait for next year to bring us all kinds of goodies. Let me show you another area that I've been working on over the last few days. Do y'all remember this space right here? In this space, I used to have a trellis going this way with the walkway going that way. And I had a bed here that had all kinds of goodies in it. But y'all, all of that's gone. We ripped all of that out. We ripped all of that out because right here next to my she shed is right next to my new fruit orchard. And I wanted to tie these two spaces in. So I made a few more changes. And so I now have, this is also a 17-inch metal raised bed, all from Vego Garden. There'll be links below if you're interested. But I've moved my trellis right here. It's a much narrower trellis for us to put all kinds of goodies on. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm thinking about putting some melons over here as well. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we got plenty of time to decide. But this trellis right here was the trellis that was growing green beans on it this past season. And so we now have it up and ready to go for next year in these two beds here. But then I got this open space behind it and the sun goes that way. And you can say, well, Kim, whatever you put in here is going to get shaded out. You are absolutely right, because in the summer, the heat comes from that way. So by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that sun is so hot that if I have cabbage or broccoli or some of those things like lettuce that can't stand all of that super hot sun, then that's the kind of things that I can put in this space right here. I could put Brussels sprouts in this space right here because they get the morning sun, so it's cooler, but they're still getting the amount of sunlight they need to grow. So that's what this bed will be here for, right here. And this bed right here, I haven't decided yet, but we're going to put something up, and it's going to be something that's going to grow on a trellis, because while my brother was here, I had him nail all of these things in with a post driver because it takes a lot out of you. So here are a few clips of my brother working in this space right here. I will do a voice overlay so I can talk a little bit more about the pictures. The first thing that we had to do was remove all of the original trellising that was in this space here. And that included removing all of the T-posts. The T-post had been in there for several years and my brother was really struggling to get those out. But once we got those out, we were able to move the metal raised beds into place and start filling them with different things like rocks and logs and cardboard and things like that in the very bottom. Now the area was just a little bit unlevel, so we did put rocks in the bottom of some of these 17-inch metal raised beds to help level them out into the space that we were in. Then we added the cardboard and the logs and twigs and many other things to set this space up for us. So, and again, in this space right here, completely different. And if you can see just behind me here, there's the fruit orchard over there that we're setting up. And we're gonna roll right into this space right here. Now, we're not done. We're not done. You saw how we went through by putting some rocks in the bottom of some of the beds that the base was a little uneven. You saw the leaves, you saw the twigs and the tree limbs, and what else did we put over here? Straw, I think, went over here. And then we reused all the soil that we already had in this space here. So the soil that I use over all of the many, many years of me gardening, I have been building up and building up on potting soil. So I have a potting mix. It's light and it's fluffy. So when I went from the ground beds to raised beds, y'all know I took the soil with me. I wasn't leaving that soil down there to cover it up. So we reused all the soil. I have not had to buy any soil to do this rearrangement of this space here. I still got drip irrigation. So this was the original drip irrigation. We got to get that back in as well. So still a long ways to go from being done, but at least we got to start on it. We got to jump on it. And on the side of my she shed right here, I had the arch trellis coming up over this space. And that arch trellis, believe it or not, blocked out this window. I didn't even want to go in my she shed. I didn't want to sit back in my recliner. I didn't want to watch TV. I didn't want to have a nice cool drink out here looking at the garden because I couldn't see it. So now that I've taken all of this trellising away from here, I can look out into the garden and see all of the wonderful things that are going to be growing out here. But I put in 2 more T-posts, and I will put a very low trellis in this space here. So I plan to grow something up to about the level of the window, but it won't be covering the window like it has been over the last few years. So this is a good spot for like sugar snap peas in the spring, right? That's a good spot for that. Maybe some cucumbers, I'm not sure yet, but something I can keep fairly low. And then of course, in the very front of this space, Mom will finally get the flower garden she wants. We will be putting flowers in the very front of this bed here. Now, I have always just randomly put flowers throughout my gardening space. And when I do that, I have flowers that are so large that they're covering up the peppers or the greens or whatever it is I'm trying to grow. Well, next year we're going to be very strategic. We are going to put the flowers where they need to be. So they're bringing in the beneficial insects because we want the beneficial insects. We want the bees. We want the ladybugs. We want the hummingbirds, right? We want the regular birds in here eating off these little baby pests as well. But I need flowers to do that. I usually have so many bumblebees in my garden. It's just amazing to come out here in the morning and see them starting to wake up as they're playing in my plants. So we will make sure we have plenty of flowers in here. And I recently released a video on how I've saved flower seeds this year. So there's no plan to purchase flowers for this upcoming season, but we will make sure we got plenty in this space. In this space right here, I had to relocate one of my GreenStalks because I did have a GreenStalk vertical planter right here that had strawberries in it. Since I moved that out over to the fruit area, that's why I was able to put this bed in. Now, I do have grapes growing right beside me. This is a grape trellis. And since I have that grape trellis so close to this bed right here, I'm going to have to make sure I keep in mind that as this grapevine starts really filling out, I got to be careful and not let it grow over into this space here. And it is going to shade this space some, but not too much. When I think about by the time the shade or the sun gets over there and the shade starts coming this way, by that time, we will have already given everything over here so much sun. It's going to be okay if it doesn't get that evening sun. I got beans or something growing on the back side. I still have room to grow something on the front side. Oh goodness, I'm going to have so many plans, and I'm going to make the plans, and then I'm going to change them, and then I'm going to make them again, and I'm going to change them again because I have so much more space. Now, I didn't add all new beds and didn't take anything away. I have taken beds away from this space. So I took away a 2 by 2 foot bed that had okra in it. That's gone. I also took away a 10, it was a triangle bed. Two of the sides of the triangle were 8 feet long, and the back side was like 10 feet long, I believe it was. That whole space is gone as well. And when you think about taking those spaces out and I added a few more, I increased the overall square footage of the garden by just a little bit. And I'll have to explain on part 2 of this video. But that's it for this space here. I will keep showing you all the changes and everything that I'm doing. I still got to get all of my trellises up over in this space as well. Even though I already had weed barrier down, I added another layer of weed barrier, y'all. I don't like pulling weeds. I don't like having to deal with weeds. So I added another layer of weed barrier to this whole space. So the weed barrier is down. I got to get my trellising systems up. And I got to put the beds down for the winter. So there's still a lot more to do in this space. The next time you see this space, hopefully I will have it completely put together with the last of the items. And I got to clean all this dirt up that I tracked in because, like I said, we were working in the rain. And I want to sweep all of that dirt out. So as long as you don't have dirt on this higher quality, I think this is 5.2 or something like that weight. I don't know. It's very heavy duty weed fabric or weed barrier. But as long as you keep the dirt off the top of it, you don't have to worry about anything growing on it or through it. So I got to get it cleaned off and cleaned up. I got to finish putting the beds together, and then I will bring you back so you can see this finished space sometime in the very near future. But we got to get it done before we lose this beautiful weather that we've been having lately. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and come along with me as I make the biggest garden redesign that I've ever done since I started gardening 15 years, to be honest with you. So at least once a week, I'm going to give you an update as I finish updating this entire grow space. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you decide to hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.